those of Revive FM or its management.
Hello, good afternoon. You are locked into Revive FM 94.0 with your host today, myself, Louise Power. This show is about community matters, diversity and inclusion, a platform for women, leadership, entrepreneurship and inspirational stories. And in the studio today, I am very, very honored to have Mildred Talabi. She is a female visibility coach on LinkedIn, to name but a few. Welcome to the show, Mildred.
Hi, Louise. I'm so happy to be here with you. Excited.
No, it's great to have you here, and I know we've been speaking for a while, and we've done it. We got here. So whereabouts in the UK are you today?
I'm in Kent. I am in Kent. So I was a Londoner for pretty much all my life, and then I moved out to the more leafier Kent, more trees. And I love it here. It's lovely.
You get nice CO2, oxygen. You're not having to deal with all the traffic jams and everything else. So yeah, if you would just a short introduction to the listeners, just to let them know who you are, that would be wonderful.
Sure. Okay, so I as you said, so what I do essentially, I'm a LinkedIn visibility coach for women in business, and what that means is I help women, particularly female coaches, get visible on LinkedIn as a platform. Now, what does that mean exactly? Good question. So it basically means that you will be seen, heard, and remembered by your ideal clients. You have to, if you have a business and no one knows that you exist, you pretty much won't have a business for very long. And LinkedIn as a platform is an awesome platform to really promote your business and market your business and essentially get visible about your business. So I coach women on how to use the platform effectively in order to build their brand and their businesses.
That is awesome. I mean, I saw Mildred on LinkedIn. In fact, we had a connection before. Without even, and we was trying to, where was it from? So we realized we had a connection before, but I had seen what Mildred was doing on LinkedIn. I just thought, this is awesome, and Mildred is giving women such awesome, amazing visibility as well. So how did this business come about, Mildred? How was it born?
Okay, so I'm one of those people. I've kind of had I've done a lot of things in life work-wise. So, but my main thing is I trained as a journalist many years ago, and I worked in the media for a bit before I switched over to communications, PR, which is kind of all similar type of industries. But at the same time as I had my career, one thing that I always had was a business on the side. So some people will call it a side hustle, So all along 12, 13 years plus, I had my day job and I had my business. I was always doing something. So my side hustles evolved in many different ways. I got things like raw food in the past, but one of the main ones that stuck was I was doing CV makeovers. So I was helping people to get jobs, through doing their CVs and helping them find jobs, the mid to senior level professionals. And then as that evolved, it later turned into also LinkedIn profile writing, because more and more people started getting onto LinkedIn as a platform. And now it wasn't just job seekers who wanted to know how to use LinkedIn to do their profiles on LinkedIn. It was also business people contacting me about that. So I started doing LinkedIn profiles as well as CV writing. And then in January 2020, just before the pandemic, actually, kind of converged both worlds, so taking everything I know about PR and visibility from my media background and what I know about building my own business through LinkedIn and helping others to do the same in terms of writing their profile and seeing that convert into people, their ideal clients coming to them. I thought, let me put this together and let me just help people get the best out of LinkedIn through the strategy of being visible. So that's how I came up with the title, LinkedIn Visibility Coach, and the rest, as they say, is history. Yeah.
Brilliant business, because there are so many people that feel like it's like they either get LinkedIn or they're really lost. And then there's another thing, isn't there, about CVs. Everybody wants to get a job and go for the interview, but sometimes it's even easier helping other people, but putting that together, and if you've done a lot of things, how do you compact all of that information? And I find as well as that, although people are on LinkedIn, perhaps they don't know the right ways in which to connect, how to network with people, and like you said, how to get that visibility. And talking about CVs and sort of like history. So your LinkedIn visibility. I also realized that you've done presenting and journalism. You're also a mum, so mumpreneur as well.
Yeah, of course. I got 2 little ones, yeah.
So what's Mildred's backstory? What's your what's the backstory to sort of like this female entrepreneur passion? You're a female leader, you're inspiring women. Is that something you've always wanted to do? Where did this integrally, this passion and fire and burning for wanting to bring women to the next level, where did all of that come from?
Oh, wow. What a question, Louise. Okay, how long do you have?
It takes. We're here for an hour, but so yeah.
Okay, cool. So, all right. So one of my earliest memories of being a kid is like I always had pen and paper to hand. I was one of those annoying kids who like, I would correct your work. I was into English writing, all of that kind of stuff from a very, very, very young age. So at the age of 7, I got my first published work in a magazine at the time, but obviously I had no idea about what I could do as a career, but I'd known the writing bit was there from young. That's one thing I've always known to do. The entrepreneurial side of me, again, something that was there from young. My dad has had like so many businesses, so somewhere in the genes, it was in there. So my first business was actually at the age of 11, when my brothers and sisters and I'm one of 5, I'm number 4 or 5. So we all kind of got together over the summer holidays and we decided that we were going to start a typing business. Now, this is going to reveal my age because this was at the time when computers were still new, when people did not have computers, let alone smartphones, forget that stuff. We still had typewriters in the house, and my dad was a writer and he used to handwrite some of his manuscripts and some of them he used to type. So when we first got computers, he's like, listen, I got 5 kids. This is free child labor. I'm going to get them to do it. So
he was editing.
Exactly. So he used to get us to type up his work and his manuscripts and on the computer. And after a while, we kind of thought, if we can do this for my dad, then there must be other people out there who would need this service and we can charge them for it. So my brother, who was good at design, would basically printed out a flyer, handed it out at Leighton Station, actually, East London. I was raised in East London. I wasn't born there. But yeah, so we went to Leighton Station, handed out flyers. And after a few days, business started coming in. We had people calling us. We had like lecturers and stuff calling us, other authors. They were calling us and saying, yeah, we need help typing the manuscripts. So that's how we started our little side business. My sister was like 16 at the time. I was about 11. So we had all this wide age range. So that's like, we did that until school interrupted the flow. We had to go back to school, after summer holidays. And that was the end of that business. But it kind of like, so these little seeds appeared like all throughout my life. So at 19, when I was in university, I set up a magazine. Because at that time I was studying creative writing and film studies, and I used to, I loved reading magazines, but I used to go to the shops and I see that all the girls, the magazines aimed at girls, young girls, were all kind of like hair, makeup, boys, all that sort of stuff. I'm like, there is more to life than hair, makeup, and boys. Even at 19, I knew that. So I thought, you know what, since I can't see what I want on the shelves, I'm going to create what I want. So, and I created a magazine called Deeper. It was just about going deeper, and other things. We talked about faith and all that kind of stuff, but just more, I guess it was a bit like personal development and faith intertwined type of magazine. So I did that. We did 1 issue. I got a whole team going around it. I used £2,000 of my student loan to get it published, and we printed it and distributed it. and we couldn't do any more. You know, we ran out of money.
Not only that, that's negative for that time, because when you started talking about magazines and boys and girls and makeup, all I thought was of the Coco Girls mag, right? And all I thought about is representation. There wasn't representation then.
Yes.
People put, and Black women's magazines weren't getting published, and we wasn't really on the face of the front of these magazines, right? So I think it was just so inspirational. Like what you were doing already then, you know.
Yeah.
And we didn't even have the technology we have now. I think that's awesome. I think that's so inspirational.
Oh, thank you. I think one thing about, I've always had I follow my passion, you know, and a lot of, I feel like life is, I don't know where it came from. I think it's just innate, but I'm one of those people, if I have an idea and a real strong following inside to do something, I got to get it done. It won't leave me alone until it's done. So it's like, if there's a problem and I can potentially be a solution, I'm not waiting around for anyone else to do it. I'm going to provide the solution. So that was kind of the theme throughout my life. So at 24, I did another business. This one with my husband, we did raw foods, and, you know, I did my CV business around that time as well. So, and then, so it was just like all along the way, just little, I would call it just following what I called my inner vocation on the inside. And we all have it on the inside of us. We have these little whispers. We have these ideas. We have these promptings that say, you should do that, or you should do this, or you should try that. But so many of us ignore it to the point sometimes we don't hear it anymore. You know, so, or because it's risky, you know, it's like, okay, what if I fail? What if this happened? My magazine didn't survive. So what, you know, but the experience that I got from doing that magazine later helped me get a scholarship in journalism, which is how I trained as a journalist. Because they were like, you're doing this at 19. Like, what okay, you know? So, yeah.
The seeds they follow, the seeds yesterday, you've forgotten about. That was there 2 or 3 years ago. That those little trees haven't died, because what is that you know you can pick fruit from them in the future because of all the work that you've done in the past. And what do you think it is why some people, you said this in is it, you called it
I call it inner vocation.
Inner vocation. That's the first time I've heard of that, right? I call it like this innate feeling inside of myself. And I think that forms part of entrepreneurship, that part of my fire to do what I'm doing. What advice would you give to some people that feel that and then they stop and then they don't take that further? What advice could we be telling some of these women and people in general that have that I guess kind of imposter syndrome or some kind of holding themselves back? What could we be saying?
Yeah. I think a lot of it, the root of a lot of it is fear, whether it's fear of failure, fear of taking action, fear of, you know, that saying, feel the fear and do it anyway, because it's not like you're doing these things without the fear. It's you're doing it in face of the fear. You know, so one of the things I say to my kids, they're still young, they're 5 and 6. I've got 2 girls, but I say to them, listen, there are no failures in life, only lessons. You know, the only time something is a failure is if you haven't learned from it. That's the only time it's a failure. And anything that we go through, we have the opportunity to learn from it. So that kind of takes away that whole fear of failure, because it's like, okay, that didn't work out. Fine. What did I learn from it? Okay, right. Next time I'm going to do better. As long as you don't die, you will still have another opportunity, you know, as long as you're still breathing.
I love this. Did we have a conversation before? Because you say to your children exactly what I say to my son. I said,
wow,
you never, ever, 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 you never lose. You only learn. Yes. Even if you haven't won, you've learned from it. And when you said it, I had goosebumps on my arm, because if you was having a conversation with my son, he'd be saying, my mum says that, my mum says that.
Yeah. And it's so important that you teach them this from young, You teach them from as young as possible. And that's what I wrote. One of my books is a children's book called My Little Book of I Ams. It's like a book of positive affirmations for kids. I wrote it for my own kids and then I published it so other people can have it. But it's this whole idea of, if you can get it embedded in you from young, that the words that you attach after the words I am is so crucial. The things that we say to ourselves about ourselves is so important. So I want my kids, and every kid and every woman and man in the world, like, saying only good things after those two words, I am. So that's the thing. So that's one of the I ams that's in that book. It's called it's one of the 10 I ams. It's I am a winner. There are no failures in my life, only lessons. So I get them. There was a time we were saying it like every day. I was having my kids like reciting and know it off head. I am a winner. I am this. I am that. Because it's important.
Where can people get this book?
It's on Amazon. You can find it on Amazon. My Little Book of I Ams is called. Yeah.
We're going to go into a commercial break. These are some nuggets, people. These are some takeaways that these free takeaways that we would be really paying some good money for here, right? We're feeling the fear and doing it anyway. Mildred is telling us her amazing backstory and about her book of I Ams and where her life has taken her since typewriting days and editing with her brother and sister. But we will be right back on the Power Hour. We're going to go into a short commercial break. Do not touch that dial. This is a show not to be missed.
Let's connect with the Holy Quran. Minhaj Dawah Project distributes the Holy Quran in plain, simple English for free. You can donate £3 and sponsor a Quran to a loved one, a neighbor, a colleague, or a friend. We distribute Qurans totally free of charge across the whole UK, including in prisons. Please call us now to contribute on 0300 030 1951 or email us on dawah@minhajuk.org.
The Career Link Project is a free employment and career service aimed at supporting young BAME women to navigate a path towards a successful future. If you're 16 or over and currently out of work, you could receive up to 10 months of personalised one-on-one career support and skills-based training to help you secure your future. Get in touch with us today on 07862 035 511 or email us at clp@tffn.co.uk. The Career Link Project, your future in your hands.
ये आयशा है। ये बहुत छोटी सी थी जब इसके वालिद का एक हादसे में इंतकाल हो गया। वो अपनी माँ और छोटे बहन भाइयों के साथ रहती है। आयशा जैसी लाखों बच्चियां जिंदगी की बुनियादी सहूलतों से बिल्कुल महरूम हैं। यही वजह है कि वो स्कूल भी नहीं जा सकती। मिनहाज वेलफेयर फाउंडेशन ने आपकी एहतियात और अपनी खिदमत दुनिया भर के यतीम और बेसहारा बच्चों के लिए वक्फ कर दी है। एक यतीम और बेसहारा बच्चे का सहारा बनिए। आज ही अतिया कीजिए। अभी कॉल मिला 0300 3030 या हमारी वेबसाइट विजिट करें www.minhajwelfare.org.
Nikah, talaq, counseling on matrimonial disputes, Islamic wills, Islamic law of inheritance, or an Islamic verdict on any other issue. The Muslim Sharia Council is at your service. We provide official certification and our experienced and highly qualified imams are available to provide you with guidance when needed. MQI London is based at 292 to 296 Romford Road, Forest Gate. We are open from Monday to Friday 2 to 4 p.m. or alternatively call us now on 0208 257 1786.
अब हम धीरे धीरे लॉकडाउन से बाहर आ रहे हैं। घर से बाहर 6 लोगों तक के ग्रुप में या 2 खानदान आपस में मिल सकते हैं। दोस्तों को गार्डन लंच पर बुलाइए। लीजिए, आप अपने हिस्से का काम कर रहे हैं, एक मुनासिब फासला बनाकर। लेकिन जब अंधेरा होने लगे और थोड़ी ठंड भी, तो अचानक से दिल में आरामदेह लाउंज में जाने की ख्वाहिश जाग सकती है। लेकिन याद रखिए, ताज़ा हवा में आप ज्यादा महफूज हैं, क्योंकि कोविड-19 के ज़र्रात इसमें उड़ जाते हैं। आइए इस अगले कदम को इंतहाई एहतियात से उठाएं। याद रखें, हैंड्स, फेस, स्पेस एंड फ्रेश एयर। अब हर कोई हफ्ते में 2 बार मुफ्त कोविड-19 टेस्ट कर सकता है। आधे घंटे के अंदर नताइज आपके सामने। इससे ये पता चलता है कि आप अपने प्यारों की हिफाजत के लिए जो कर सकते हैं वो कर रहे हैं। आपके दोस्त, आपके साथ काम करने वाले साथी और आपकी जिंदगी में फिर से आगे बढ़ने की ख्वाहिश। अंदाजन 3 में से 1 शख्स ऐसा है जिसमें बज़ाहिर कोविड-19 की कोई अलामत दिखाई नहीं देती, मगर अनजाने में वो उसे फैला रहा है। वो आपका कोई दोस्त, रिश्तेदार, काम का साथी या आप खुद भी हो सकते हैं। रैपिड टेस्ट बहुत आसानी से nhs.uk/get-tested से मिल सकते हैं। आइए ये अगला कदम बहुत मोहतात होकर उठाएं।
If you want to advertise your business on Revive FM, then visit www.revivefm.co.uk or contact our sales team now on 07944 565616. That's 07944 565616. Advertise with Revive FM.
Revive FM
94.0 on the radio,
on your mobile,
and online.
Hello, good afternoon. You are locked into Revive FM 94.0. Sorry, tongue tie there. Hello, good afternoon. You're locked into Revive FM 94.0 with your host today, myself, Louise Power. This show is about community matters, diversity and inclusion, a platform for women, leadership, entrepreneurship and inspirational stories. And in the studio today, I have Mildred Talabi, and she is a female visibility coach for LinkedIn, to name but a few. She's an author and much, much more. She's been in the studio this morning telling me her amazing backstory about how she got into entrepreneurship. Very inspired by her dad, and also, you know, she's done so many different things. Welcome back to the show, Mildred.
Thanks, Louise. Thanks. Good to be here.
So before the commercial break, you was talking about you following your passions and the different kinds of businesses that you've had yourself, like from young with your brothers and sisters. You've seen your dad have different businesses, starting business with your husband, the Book of I Ams. I think that is just awesome. Like, oh, love it. And yeah, just so many inspirational things about how you take yourself from idea stage to making that something viable and alive. And I just like to speak about a little bit about motherhood, right? Because a lot of the clients and people that you work with, some of them may be mums or carers of some kind. And how do you juggle it all, basically?
A lot of prayer and a good husband. Honestly, yeah. So that on a serious level, that stuff is, my faith helps me, and also my husband is like, he is an actual partner in this marriage. You know, he's an actual partner, as in like, oh my God, I wouldn't be able to do my business without him and all the things that I do, because he's so supportive, he's so hands-on with the kids. One of the things just before I became a mum, I read a book by, you might have heard of this, Sheryl Sandberg, Lean In. You know,
Lean In. It sounds familiar.
Yeah, Lean In. So Lean In is like her manifesto for. Sheryl Sandberg was the chief operating officer of Facebook at the time. You know, like basically like one of the second in commands of Facebook. And she wrote this book, Lean In, about how women should kind of just press into their careers and the boardroom and all of that kind of stuff. And some of the things that hold women back from doing that. One of the things she said in the book that really stuck with me was, she's like, what women do unintentionally is when we become mothers, we automatically take over that role and kind of leave the fathers out of it. You know, so we assume that we have superior knowledge on parenting. Yes, we carried the child for 9 months in some cases, whoever, you know, but we assume that we have the superior knowledge. And so we don't let the dads get involved as much. And then what tends to happen is after a while, the dad's like, you know what, that's your area. So you look after the kids, I go to work. She said, listen, if you have to let your husband or your partner put the nappy on upside down for the first few months of the baby's life, do it. You know, it's much better that they put the nappy on upside down but at least they're involved. Then you fussing and fighting over like, oh, that's not how to do it. This is a better way to do it. I was like, oh my gosh, because I knew that was going to be me. Before I had my kids, I knew I was going to be the one to say, this is how you put the nappy on. Oh, no, do it this way, because we have our way of doing things. So that kind of set me free. So when it came to having my first child, and my oldest is now 6, later on 7, and my husband did take responsibility, and he did put nappies on the wrong way at times, or fed her the wrong thing or something, I'd be like, just keep your mouth shut, Mildred. It's okay. He's helping. That's all that matters. And after a while, it became natural, because what I also realized is like, we are both in this journey together. I'm not born with a manual on how to be a parent. Just because I carried the child for 9 months doesn't give me extra knowledge on how to be a parent. So that's the thing, that one of the things that women do, we automatically take on that childcare thing all by ourselves. And then we wonder why the husband or the partner is not interested in getting involved. So as I said, that set me free from the beginning. And then from the beginning, we both kind of worked on all right, so he cut down his hours because he wanted to be involved in our children's lives. So he went part-time at work. I was part-time at work, and we still had this business. So we were both, the kids, if they woke up in the middle of the night, they'd call for daddy as much as they'd call for mommy. You know, so it was really important to us that from the beginning, we had this foundation where we were both involved in their lives. And it's really paid off in that it's helped us both to pursue our own passions and our businesses and whatever else we've got to do while we're parenting together. So that's the thing. Now, I understand that not everybody's going to have that help, you know, so I do understand that it's not easy to have that help. So I'm blessed in that sense. But another thing that also helped, and I found that came a lot easier with motherhood, is this whole thing of prioritizing, you know, multitasking, prioritizing. Like, listen, I don't know where companies get this idea that parents are not as good workers, because in fact, when you become a parent, you're an even better worker because of the fact that now your time management goes to new levels. Your prioritization goes to new levels. Your ability to manage deadlines and juggling priority goes to new levels, you know, because it's like I have to constantly be planning ahead, thinking about this. Okay, pickup is this time. This is then. So like all these additional skills that come from being a parent, you know, absolutely should be recognized a whole lot more than it currently is at the moment. So in terms of juggling it, and it's that whole thing of being really like focused with the time that you do have, you know, so being focused with the time. So I know like right now I'm my own boss, so I set my hours. Come to 2:30 when it's time for the school run, my work day is done, because once I pick up the kids, I'm mum until they go to bed, you know, then I might do a few things and then I'm sleeping. So it's that whole thing of like really fitting your life around and having strict deadlines. Yes, sometimes in some places I'm not able to do it, like, you know, all of that. But if you just have the guideline, it will help you to manage the two a lot easier, especially if you're doing it on your own.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
That's such good advice. I think multitasking, being organized, and it doesn't always go to plan. When you spoke about your husband, I didn't have a direct example of that, but it reminded me of when I left my son with my grandma in Jamaica. And when I came back, the nappy, it didn't even look like a nappy. I wasn't even sure what it was. And she was like, I said, Nan, you know, that isn't how it's supposed to be. She said, well, it's on, isn't it? You know? And it's the truth. We get caught up with these small things, right? That in actual fact, if we're working together as a team, and whether it's a husband or a grandma or a nanny or a friend or someone that you trust, that can be your support network and help you during that time period. And I always say, one of the things I say that has really helped me as I went along is, you know, women, if you haven't got that partner or husband, women that can share the responsibility. So, if you look after my children, I've got this entrepreneurship thing that I'm doing, and I'll help you out, sort of thing. So there's always a way, that finding a way, you know, to make it happen. You know, very often I help people to say that there's got to be a way. We've got to find a way.
Where there's a will, there's a way, right?
where there is a will, there is a way. And I just think thank you so much for sharing those tips for women around motherhood. And I'd like to take us nicely back into sort of like your original introduction around LinkedIn visibility and just the value of that, like what that really means to somebody. And I guess for you and I, we use LinkedIn. I don't even know if I probably don't actually use it in the way that we need to have a conversation. I don't use it in the way that, in its full effect, the way that I could use it I'm just like yourself, multitasking and an entrepreneur and doing different things. But what is the value in using a platform like LinkedIn? And for someone that doesn't really know like the business in itself, what does your ideal client look like? What kind of needs they have when they come to you?
Okay, so value of using LinkedIn. Let me tell you some of the results that I've had personally and my clients have had from using LinkedIn. So you get to attract your own ideal client, which means people pay you, so it increases your income. People pay you for the work that you set out to do in your business. I've had speaking engagements, paid speaking engagements as a result of showing up on LinkedIn. I've been featured in media articles and interviews and things like that. We're talking on this podcast because on this radio show because we reconnected through LinkedIn. So it's like, and I can give you so many more examples. I've been part of conferences and all of that, and people who, in a normal sense, I wouldn't connect with, I'm connected to, and opportunities that wouldn't come to me have come to me and to my clients as a result of being visible on LinkedIn. So this is where it's really important that I define the word visible, because a lot of people set up LinkedIn accounts, and they're like, yeah, I'm on LinkedIn, No, you're not. All you did is set up a LinkedIn account. There's a big difference between having a LinkedIn account and being on LinkedIn. And if you're going to be on LinkedIn, you have to be visible on LinkedIn. And why visible? I'm talking there's 4 things. I call it the 4 pillars of LinkedIn success. So pillar number 1 is you have to have a profile that really speaks to your target audience, whoever they may be. Number 2, you have to share content. So you can't just be lurking and spying on other people's stuff and never posting anything yourself. You need to put stuff out there because that's how you get seen on the platform. Number 3, you need to engage with people on LinkedIn. That's the 3rd pillar, engagement. So you're not just putting things out there, you're also connecting with people in your networks, you're building relationships. And then lastly, you need to be connecting with your target audience on a regular basis if you want to use it to build your business. If you just want to be there to just have a good time and look at people, then fine, just get on. But if you really want to get some tangible results out of it, like the ones I described and the ones I get for my clients and with my clients, you have to be strategic about it. And that's based around these 4 pillars of LinkedIn success, which is all about building a good foundation for being visible so that you're seen, heard, and remembered by your ideal client. So the opportunities are so good. Because LinkedIn as a platform is really different from all the other social platforms like Facebook and Instagram, because people are going there with a completely different mindset than they are on Instagram or Facebook. Facebook, they want to like your pictures about your cat, or your kids, whatever. You will get good responses in that. Put something about your business and you wonder where all your connections have gone, So whereas it's not the same with LinkedIn, people are ready to do business with you if you do it the right way. So I can't sing its praises enough as a platform.
I 100% agree with you. And I think the cat, everybody goes into Facebook to chill out. They don't want to hear about business, When they're on LinkedIn, more often than not, if you build the right network, everybody is there to find jobs, to connect, to find business, it's a virtual business hub. It's awesome, isn't it? And what does your, if somebody was thinking, I could come to Mildred and I should book a call with her. What your client, the profile of your client look like? What kind of things are they looking for when they come to you? They're looking for you to look at their LinkedIn. Are they looking at any other kind of personal development or?
Yeah. Okay. So good question. So essentially, what I do, I call it LinkedIn visibility coaching, but essentially the two things that I do is I'm a business coach that just uses LinkedIn as the vehicle to help you with your business. That's on one side. On the other side, I'm a personal branding strategist in terms of I can help you build a personal brand that attracts your ideal clients. So as I said, the title LinkedIn visibility coach covers both fronts, but really, so my clients come to me because they want to develop a personal brand on LinkedIn that their ideal clients plug into, and the reason developing a personal brand is important is because people buy from people, and it's easier. People say it's so much easier for people to buy from you when they've bought into you. Yes. And that's where the personal branding comes into it. When you start to show up on a platform as yourself and you bring all of what you're about, your expertise, your credibility, but also your personality, your quirks and all of that, what you immediately do is you eliminate competition because no one can do you as well as you can do you. So that's why personal branding is so important, and LinkedIn is a great platform for personal branding. So my clients, they come to me because they want help with that personal brand, and they also want help to build their business in terms of actually get tangible income from the activities that they do on LinkedIn. Because it's all good playing around all day, liking stuff and commenting on stuff. But if you're running a business, you actually want people to be contacting you and saying, how do I work with you? You want people to be signing on as your clients, you want to see that tangible results of this. All these activities are converting into more business for me. And that's what I help people do on LinkedIn. Women, I specialize in working with women, because women, we have particular hang-ups about bringing all of ourselves to the forefront. A lot of women have that hang-up. So a lot of my clients have these, putting myself out there. It's a big, scary thing for them. So I'm there to kind of hold your hand along the way, but also to give you a good kick up the rear end when it's needed to make sure you do what's needed to get you out there for the purpose of building that brand and your business. So yeah, that's what I do in a nutshell.
Accountability.
100%. 100%.
So you're gonna do it? Let's do it.
Yeah. I'm the wrong person to tell if you have goals, right? Because I will make sure that you make it happen. Else don't come near me because I will remind you about that goal. So yeah.
We're so similar. Honestly. We are so similar. And I think that's what it is. Sometimes people, they need, paying for the accountability sometimes means I've invested in myself. 100%. And actually I'm going to get this done. And one of the best pieces of advice that I got actually when I was, on LinkedIn and obviously working for myself, and someone said, Louise, it's about conversion.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes you get to a point and then you need to convert that now, right, into profitable business and into income and things like that. And I think that some people that have got small businesses in particular without big teams, that they find that quite difficult because you're juggling lots and lots of different things at once. So I think those tips and nuggets that you shared with people about what you do are going to be so valuable, especially in understanding, because some people they like you said, I think the thing that I really liked as well, when you said, no, you've got a profile. Yeah. What did you say? You said you've got a...
So it's like people think they're on LinkedIn, but they're not. They just set up a profile. That's all they've done. That's it.
They've just set up a profile. Then you're not actually on LinkedIn, right? So, so we're going to go into a short commercial break again, right? And when we get back, we will continue the conversation with Mildred, and we'll be getting more and more hints, tips, and nuggets about LinkedIn visibility coaching, also all of the branding strategy that she does, and business coaching. You know, there was so much more that even I found out today. So we'll be right back. Do not touch that dial.
If you want to advertise your business on Revive FM, then visit www.revivefm.co.uk. Alternatively, contact our sales team now on 079 44 56 5616. That's 079 44 56 5616.
अब हर कोई हफ्ते में 2 बार मुफ्त कोविड-19 टेस्ट कर सकता है। आधे घंटे के अंदर नताइज आपके सामने। इससे ये पता चलता है कि आप अपने प्यारों की हिफाजत के लिए जो कर सकते हैं वो कर रहे हैं। आपके दोस्त, आपके साथ काम करने वाले साथी और आपकी जिंदगी में फिर से आगे बढ़ने की ख्वाहिश। अंदाजन 3 में से 1 शख्स ऐसा है जिसमें बज़ाहिर कोविड-19 की कोई अलामात दिखाई नहीं देती, मगर अनजाने में वो उसे फैला रहा है। वो आपका कोई दोस्त, रिश्तेदार, काम का साथी या आप खुद भी हो सकते हैं। रैपिड टेस्ट बहुत आसानी से nhs.uk/get-tested से मिल सकते हैं। आइए ये अगला कदम बहुत मोहतात होकर उठाएं। अब हम आहिस्ता आहिस्ता लॉकडाउन से बाहर आ रहे हैं। अब हम दोबारा बाहर मिल भी सकते हैं। 6 लोगों के साथ पार्क में पिकनिक, लेकिन अपने अपने कंबल और आपस में बहुत सारा फासला रखकर। लेकिन अचानक कोई दोस्त दिख जाए तो उसे साथ आने की दावत ना देना बुरा लगेगा ना। लेकिन ज्यादा लोगों से मिलने का मतलब है कोविड-19 के होने का ज्यादा खतरा। इसलिए सिर्फ 6 लोगों तक के ग्रुप्स या 2 खानदान आपस में मिल सकते हैं। आइए इस अगले कदम को इंतहाई एहतियात से उठाएं। याद रखिए, हैंड्स, फेस, स्पेस एंड fresh air.
Minhaj School of Islamic Sciences provides quality Islamic education for children aged between 5 and 15 years old. As well as teaching classical Islam including Tajweed, Fiqh, Seerah and Aqidah, we endeavour to equip children with essential Islamic manners, morals and values. Here at MSIS, our experienced teachers create an inspirational learning environment where we strive to cater for the needs of every child. For enrolment inquiries, inquire in person at Minhaj School of Islamic Sciences, Monday to Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. at 292-296 Romford Road, or email admin.edu_london@minhajuk.org.
क्या आपको मालूम है कि नूरा जैसी बच्चियां पानी के लिए रोजाना 3 मील पैदल सफर तय करती हैं? मिनहाज वेलफेयर फाउंडेशन को यकीन है कि आप छोटे और बड़े पैमाने पर पानी के मंसूबे लगाकर इस बहरान को खत्म कर सकते हैं। आपके एहतियात दुनिया भर के पसमानदा लोगों का म्यार जिंदगी बेहतर बना रहे हैं, जबकि अभी बहुत कुछ करना बाकी है। पानी सबके लिए के प्रोजेक्ट में हमारी मदद कीजिए। आज ही अतिया कीजिए या हमारी वेबसाइट विजिट करें www.minhajwelfare.org.
The Career Link Project is a free employment and career service aimed at supporting young BAME women to navigate a path towards a successful future. If you're 16 or over and currently out of work, you could receive up to 10 months of personalised one-on-one career support and skills-based training to help you secure your future. Get in touch with us today on 07862 035 511 or email us at clp@tffn.co.uk. The Career Link Project, your future in your hands.
Thinking about selling or letting your home? With Maxwell Estates, you don't need to look any further. Well established with over 15 years of experience, Maxwell Estates are specialists in residential sales and lettings. We manage over 200 properties in and around Northwest London, keeping our landlords and tenants updated with all the latest laws and legislations. Based in Edgware, our experienced specialist negotiators always ensure we maximize the full potential of your property. Call us now on 0208 952 0808 for a free no obligation quotation, or visit our website www.maxwellestates.co.uk for further information. Maxwell Estates, the name you can trust.
Revive FM
94.0. On the radio.
On your mobile.
And online.
Hello, welcome back. You are locked into the Power Hour with your host today, myself, Louise Power. And my guest in the studio is Mildred Talabi. She is a female LinkedIn visibility coach. Welcome back to the show, Mildred.
Hi, Louise.
So beforehand, we were just talking, like Mildred was giving us such amazing hints and tips about how to be visible on LinkedIn. She spoke about some of the tools. She spoke about what it means to have a profile and what it means to actually be visible, which is two different things. The great thing about this show is you can rewind and watch it over and over again. And of course, get in touch with Mildred and connect with her and create that telephone call with her. If you wanted to take it further to find out what she does. But what I wanted to speak to you about now was, I'm actually at the moment doing an exercise kind of challenge campaign, right? And it's called Jump for Change. And the reason why I created that was because I got really tired of, everything that kind of like been happening 2020 to 2021. As a woman, as a Black woman, from George Floyd being killed to everything else, the global uprising of Black Lives Matter, and just seeing so many people of color, Black and brown, being killed, and the kind of discrimination that's been happening. And then of course there's been a lot of women and passing away because of domestic violence and femicide just around the world globally. So it's one of my passions. So I skip for exercise, and I've been getting lots of people involved, and that's been my thing. And I just wondered, on a personal level, as although you're hardcore entrepreneur and working and stuff like that, how have you managed with all of the what we can't get away from, the impact of everything that's been happening socially, right? How has that kind of had an effect of you, COVID and Black Lives Matter, and seeing all these things happening, so many women being affected and things like that. Is there any strategies that you put in place, or anything that you think about, or that you advise yourself to, because of course it can be tiring. Sometimes you feel a bit helpless, and that's why I started that challenge, because I thought, God, blimey, there's so much going on, but so little we can do. But yeah, it affects all of us as a society. We've had to get through this pandemic, and as entrepreneurs and through COVID, and it's a lot, isn't it, Mildred?
Yeah, no, I totally hear you. So here's another element of visibility that I talk about from time to time again. So the whole reason, for my reason for creating visibility for myself and helping others to create visibility is, there's the business side, which is great. This really works for your business. But there's also the side of when you're visible and you have a platform and you create a platform, then you can be heard. So visibility allows you to create a platform to be heard. There's actually a scripture in I'm probably getting this wrong, Ecclesiastes, or one of them. It says that the poor man's voice is not heard. And the equivalent of the poor man today is not just the lack of wealth, but it's also a lack of influence. In that nobody, if you've got a Facebook account and you've got 2 friends, or you're on LinkedIn and you've got 10 people in your network, you do not have influence. So, but when you build visibility and you build a following and you build influence, now you have a voice, and you can use that voice in any way you choose. So one of the reasons and one of the ways that I use my voice, because the whole Black Lives Matter and all of that kind of stuff, it is actually something that, of course, it affects me. Look at my skin color, the George Floyd thing, of course, that broke me. And the time that happened, I couldn't keep quiet. So I literally went on LinkedIn and I posted something about it, which got it went semi-viral, loads of people engaging with it as well. But I feel like it's my responsibility. And then recently as well, the UK's Commission for Racial Equality report basically saying the UK is not racist, whatever, But again, it's something that I was so annoyed about that I thought I had to share my views on it. So again, I went to LinkedIn and I put my thoughts out there. And it's not, And because I've created a platform on LinkedIn, I've got about 17,000 followers on LinkedIn. It's small in the sense of in some things, but it's some level of influence. And I feel like it's my responsibility to educate people in my network about things that they otherwise may not even know about or be concerned about, and to do it in a respectful way. So that's one of the ways I use my platform and my visibility in to speak out against causes that touch me, that affect me. And I believe that we all have something. So beyond the business, beyond all of that, there's something that touches us, and there's something that we can lend our voice to. And where possible, as much as possible, I feel like we have a responsibility to do that. But we also have a responsibility to build a platform that gives you an influence so that people can hear you. Otherwise, you're just shouting in a corner by yourself and no one's listening. It makes no difference. So that's my take on it. I feel like, but sometimes even with all of it, it's you can't spend too much time on it for the sake of your own mental health, for the sake of your own well-being. You can't spend too much time in it. You have to manage it, because otherwise, if you're no good to yourself, you're not going to be any good to help anyone out there. So you have to balance it. So I don't listen to all the news about everything. In fact, I don't even watch the news. It's mainly I if there's any news I need to know about, I will eventually find out via LinkedIn. Enough people will be talking about it. I'm like, okay, let me look into that. But other than that, you do not catch me watching the news, reading the newspapers, because you can rename them the doom papers, and because that's all they talk about. It's not uplifting for anybody. So, and I like to preserve that mental health. But yeah, build visibility, build a platform so you can use your platform to influence. That's really important.
Really, really important. Oh, those words alone, like I feel again inspired. Because of course, you have a difficult time, but where do you put that energy? And actually finding your voice, and even, we all can do something. Yeah. We all have an opportunity to do something small, right? And play our part, right? And you said something at the beginning of the show as well. You mentioned your faith, and I think there are we all have our different ways, right? Of keeping ourselves together, and also of how to, when we have that innate faith and our higher power, right? To I believe in God, 100%, right? But so whatever it is that you have to hold on to get you through and get you over into that sphere and into that space, that you can execute and do what you need to do. But I think that 100% with what you were saying, that we are at a time where there is a lot of propaganda and there's a lot going on, and you have to kind of filter what you take in and keep to keep your mind positive. But where you can, please do your part. So coming into now, like just the last few minutes of the show, this is the important part where, how can people find you, Mildred?
Well, I think the answer is going to be pretty obvious by now, where you can find me. But yes, LinkedIn is the place. It's my number one hangout. You will find me there every day, posting content on how you can use LinkedIn better, and also about things like business advice and mindset tips or useful stuff, on LinkedIn, and just hanging out. It's a great platform. So that's the first place. If you want to get an idea of what I'm about, that's the first place I'd recommend that you find me, on LinkedIn. You just have to look up Mildred Talabi. There's only one me, as far as I know. So you're not going to find loads of results. You're going to find Mildred Talabi. And then if you want to look some more, you can go to my website, mildredtalabi.com, to find out a bit more of my backstory and everything else I'm about.
That's fantastic. And what's happening for Mildred Talabi 2021? We've got about a minute. Just tell us what's happening, Mildred Talabi, LinkedIn 2021. What's new, and what should we be expecting, sort of like post, COVID settling down?
Oh, okay, awesome. So I'm currently working on a show. This is an exclusive I'm about to give you. So I do a LinkedIn show called Visible Women on LinkedIn, where I interview women who are doing amazing stuff. So we're on season 3, which literally kicked off this week, and we've got a few more seasons this year. But there will be a book. There will be a book. So that will be book number 5. So that book is coming out next year. So about women and women doing powerful stuff. So this is exclusive because I have not said this publicly before. But yeah, so there you go, Louise.
Exclusive. And I think the next time, because you're definitely coming back, is I think it will be about your 5 books, right?
Oh yeah.
The next one's going to be all for Mildred Talabi, right? This is going to be a sequel of things, okay?
Yeah.
So she will be back. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. I've been completely honored. I've been completely inspired. Please, please, please do connect with Mildred on LinkedIn. She's got fantastic expertise, and that she'll definitely be able to help you take your business to the next level and help you to create that visibility. It's easy for us to say that we want to be present, but how do we actually get there? And she can convert that for you. You've been locked into the Power Hour with your host today, myself, Louise Power, and my guest, Mildred Talabi. Please do take care. Do not touch that dial. Well, we'll be right back after news. We'll have another show after the news, and we'll be back on the Power Hour next week. Mildred, thank you again.
Thank you, Louise. Bye, everybody.
Take care.
This is Aisha.